Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome back to some World of Tanks action, this time courtesy of me! Yay! So let's just all tone things down and not expect some super duper awesome mega carry or anything. Now look, the reason I'm showing you this replay is because, well, we've all had those times when we just get a little bit frustrated, a little bit annoyed, a little bit worked up, a little bit pent up, and so I'm showing this because almost I don't think it would be fair not to. I don't want to present a false image and try and give the impression that I never get frustrated or never have those frustrating games or anything like that. And thus, we come to this. So, we're driving the Jagdpanzer IV again. And we're here on mines. No, we're not. That's a lie. We're here on Malinovka. Oh, they begin with an M, they're close enough. So Malinovka, big wide open map. You can do well in a tank destroyer on Malinovka, very definitely. And the matchmaking is nice. We are top tier, 357 matchmaking. In fact, it's actually 366, but close enough. Whatever. We're in a good tank for the map. We've got good matchmaking. Everything's hunky-dory, right? Well, about that. But we'll get to that in due course. So this is going to be a slow burner, so please just be patient. It's Malinovka, what do you expect? Panzer 3J, I take the shot there and back off. Now, you could argue... Ooh, hello Mr. Sherman. It's interesting here because I don't actually get spotted, but the Sherman right next to me does, and of course he continues to sit right next to me. I mean, why actually move if you're spotted, right? And he's now dead. And the IKV on the enemy team is, as anyone with a brain could predict, appears to be on the opposite side of this waterway, I would imagine. But it looks like from this position I am actually able to shoot these guys with relative impunity. I am assuming... Oh, I can get a shot there. Maybe that hit, maybe it didn't. Now, I'm assuming I didn't get spotted, but he did because I'm packing a better camo rating, or maybe my slightly different positioning is helping. But either way, I've discovered that at the moment, anyway, I can kind of blaze away from this position and probably not achieve a great deal of much, but at least I don't get myself spotted and murderized. I want to be a little bit careful here because, well, we know that there's the IKV in the vicinity. But I really wanted to get shots on these guys as they're approaching the hill. Damage would be great, but also just to dissuade them. Ugh, dubious shell velocity on this gun. Just to dissuade them, really, and make their lives difficult. Because if they kind of get trapped in this sort of in-betweeny ground, then I'm hoping we can kill them in a crossfire. Unfortunately, they're positioned such that that's actually quite difficult to achieve, and it's our team who's lost 2 tanks. So, game plan hasn't really worked out from my perspective, which is a little bit frustrating. Trying to pick out shots on any of these guys, but it's just kind of not working very well, unfortunately. I mean, I might have landed a blind shot or maybe 2 here, which would be nice, but it's not a particularly amazing start. So we're giving up on that thing as a bit of a bad idea, and we're just going to try and see if we can spot some of those guys away in the background. And meanwhile, our tier 5 Polish, I think, medium tank has decided to drive across the field. To be fair, he's not just driving straight across the field, he's trying to keep himself to a flank and whatnot, but there's no one spotting for him, and there's tank destroyers probably over there, and he just dies, which shouldn't come as a great surprise to anyone, really. That's why you don't just drive across the open field on Malinovka. And thus, this is our position. We're 1-3 down. We've won the hill, kind of, but as often happens on this map, once you've won the hill, the question is, okay, well then what? What you really want to do is win the hill and use that to gain yourself a numerical advantage. Hello, Mr. Stug, but you can see that we've won the hill, but we've actually got a numerical disadvantage going on. Is that Stug really just gonna... Oh, right, fine, well, he's dead. And the IKV goes down. Okay, so our team, we've managed to pull this back a little bit. Scorelines are 3-3. But we've used about a third of the game time to do it, which is not great. Now, I'm being a little bit cautious here because there are plenty of tanks on the enemy team that we just don't know where they are. And I don't want to get spotted and murderized. I'm trying not to just throw my tank away. At the same time, I'm very cautious that if I don't have a decent impact, that's difficult as well. So, we're going to, and I think I take a little bit long to come to this conclusion, but we are eventually going to come to the conclusion that this position has outstayed its usefulness. Trust me, I will get there. Now, cut me a little bit of slack here. This is a game I played sometime before Christmas. Ooh, going for the blind shot there, but it's probably not going to work. So I would definitely consider this to be, you know, I'm more rusty with the game at the time of playing this this match. But either way, okay, we've decided that, you know, we've outstayed our usefulness in that position. Fine. Let's try and be somewhere else. Now, there's a couple of different options. One, you could move up to try and support the friendly team who are pushing down from the hill, actually, with more success than I might have expected. Or two, we could try and look over toward the cap circle, because we really don't have much of a team over there, and they could sneak around the sides. Scoreline is 6-6, by the way. I'm deciding to try and support the push here. We'll see how that pans out, I suppose. Now, whilst the scorelines are even, all of those kills are currently sitting on a Cromwell and a T1 Heavy. Now, the T1 has very little in the way of hit points remaining. Oh, sorry, Mr. SU, I didn't mean to nudge you. Sorry, let me just take control of the camera for a moment. The Cromwell has a respectable amount of health remaining, but someone can definitely spot those guys, and we just lose our M8A1. And we're back in an awkward position. If I push out here, I'm not sure if I can get myself in a relatively safe position before I just get shot up. Whilst the Jagdpanzer IV is an agile tank destroyer, it's not going to win any speed races in the near future. And the T-34-85 is not in a terrible position. He's actually in a position such that he can't really take flanking fire, and, well, yeah, you could see that one coming. There's now a light tank in the vicinity of our artillery, although there is a medium tank down there, right in the corner of the map. I'm not quite sure which one yet. Trust me. We will find out. I mean, we could work it out by deduction, of course, but I can't be bothered. I think it's the T-34. No, it is the Panzer T-25. Yeah, I remember this. So, introducing our antagonist? I don't know. The focus of my ire in this game. Well, that sounds a little bit dramatic, but the guy who gets on my nerves, mostly. The Panzer T-25. Now, I shouldn't necessarily have a particularly high opinion of him straight off, because he was sitting in K0, giving himself nowhere to go if he does get spotted, and not leaving himself particularly useful, and just... Anyway. Point is, don't set your expectations of this guy too high. My expectations were clearly too high as I played this game. I've decided to come over here because, well, if a Panzer 38NA can sneak around the side, so can anyone else. And I was already thinking this side of the map is rather exposed, and oh, would you look at that? It's almost as if this is an incredibly predictable situation. So we've got a KV-1 and a T-34 over here. Shot there into the T-34. The KV-1 can wait a moment. His view range sucks, so I'm trying to put shots into the T-34 because I consider him the bigger threat. T-34 is more mobile, he can close the distance faster, and, you know, it's more likely that he'll have something like binos giving him better view range, and that was a little bit unlucky, but let's aim slightly higher. Pew! And so we want to take out the T-34 first. Going to take this shot blind, I believe, and he should have moved. Maybe his tracks were gone. You know, if you were able to, he should have moved. So that's the T-34 sorted. Next is the KV-1. Now, trying to cap in this position is not, in my opinion, a particularly good move from these guys. But that's what they tried to do, and there's one shot, and one more shot should deal with this guy. And there we go, he is dead. So we pick up two pretty straightforward kills there. Oh, and Chinu, right. That's a really frustrating shot. I don't give it quite enough lead, I don't think, but either way, the shot actually goes high and to the left. So, even if I had given it enough lead, I'm not convinced that I would have been able to pick the kill up, on that Chinu. And our Su-76 gets spotted and dies, and suddenly there's only 4 of us left, including, we're going to get to him, the Panzer T-25, who, if you can see, has essentially returned to K0. Well, yeah. Now, I've come round here with the hope of getting some view range over to maybe spot the Chi-Nu and maybe shoot the Chi-Nu, but it's clearly not working. That guy has decided that discretion is the better part of valor, and he doesn't want to get shot at, which is an entirely sensible thing to do from his perspective. But, you know, the Chi-Nu's slow. Even if he doesn't want to expose himself, it's entirely possible he wouldn't have much choice about it, and when I think about it, that's perhaps not a very good way of phrasing that sentence. Please don't take it out of context. So, who do we have left? Well, the T-34-85, we were shooting at him earlier on. He's on low health, but he's still alive and has picked up 2 kills. There's also the Chi-Nu, who I'm coming to the conclusion is a respectable player, so we need to be careful of him. Matilda Black Prince is slow and has not been spotted all game. He's clearly not AFK because he does have a kill. The fact that he's not been spotted could just be because he's so slow. M8A1 and Hetzer were both last spotted around the other side of the map, and of course there's Artillery, who is on 3 kills, so that's a point of concern. We have myself, the Panzer T25, we will come back to him, Panzer 38NA, and M37 artillery piece. Now, what should I have done in this situation? You could argue, I think, that maybe I should have tried some sort of breakout manoeuvre on the other flank, take out the M8 and the Hetzer. The problem is, we've seen that before. We had a Polish medium tank who tried something similar earlier on, and I'm just not feeling very confident. Now, the one thing I didn't notice at the time that I really should have picked up on is that half of the enemy team are in a platoon. All their tier 4s are platooned together. Now, I don't know if they were in a platoon when they came into this game or if they just formed a dynamic platoon in the game, but the fact that they are in a platoon indicates that they might be communicating a little bit more than one would expect from the average World of Tanks player. And when you see how this game ends, that is a conclusion I am tempted toward. So what I'm essentially hoping at the moment is that the enemy team aren't particularly good. I'm hoping they just come at us one at a time, essentially, and we can kill them likewise one at a time, and there goes the Panzer 38NA. That's really annoying. We're down to less than 3 minutes on this match, by the way. So I'm just trying to achieve something, and this is where I start getting frustrated with the Panzer T25, because I'm in a tank destroyer, I'm doing the spotting, and our medium tank is still sat in K0. Can we pick up a kill on the Chi-Nu? No. Oh, the Panzer T25 picks up the kill. Oh, okay, that's fine, alright. If he's going to be able to provide supporting fire for me, then that'll be alright. Like, that's okay. Oh, good lord, M8A1. I probably should have just let him ram me there, maybe, but I didn't want to lose much in the way of hit points, and the Panzer T25 picks up that kill as well, alright. Maybe this... Oh, dear. I'm trying to close the distance to spot this guy, but this is getting awkward. Maybe the Panzer T25 is reliable. Anyway. He's still sat in K1. Right now, he needs to be moving somewhere to do something, because if we just sit in sorry, not K1, K0, if you just sit in K0, at best, this game is probably going to be a draw. And you could argue I make a mistake here, but I'm trying to make something happen to give us a chance of winning this game before the timer runs out. You don't want to be chasing catchy catchy kissy kissy round and round a rock with a medium tank driving your tank destroyer, and ooh, Matilda Black Prince turns up. I wasn't expecting him. Okay, so we're going to go for the Matilda and just accept that, oh god, there's the Hetzer as well, that we're going to have a Rectal T-34, and oh, that hurts. Oh, can we kill the Black Prince at least? Is the T-25 doing anything? No, right, turn around, try and deal with the T-34. There's our Hetzer firing HE, because of course he is, he's a Hetzer. There goes my engine. And I'm just trying to get myself into a position where the Hetzer can't shoot me, but we've got less than 1 minute left on this game. The T-34 can kill me, and I'm just trying to make something happen, and the T-34 does indeed kill me, and the Panzer is sat in G0. He's moved from K0 to G0. So, here's the thing. Because the Panzer sat at the back of the map, That meant I felt that to make anything happen and to give us a chance of winning this, I had to go forward, and what am I going to do going around a rock chasing a medium tank without a turret? Had the Panzer tried that, we might have been in a better position. As it is, the Panzer kills the T-34-85. Well, great, but we can't drive over to kill the artillery. This is a draw. I despise draws in this game. And I get a bit frustrated in chat, you can see there. And it's just annoying. So, that was the game. So the question can arise, what should we have done differently? Well, we just wasted too much time. Maybe I should have tried to push down the other flank, assumed the Hetzer and whatnot had gone elsewhere. And it seemed they might have done. But it's quite difficult to be the playmaker when you're in a tank destroyer. Your armour is generally not amazing, unless you're in some sort of assault tank destroyer. You don't have a fully rotating turret. You probably don't have amazing view range. I'm using binos to get a decent view range, but that's no use if you're moving. You have to be stationary, and so on and so on and so on. Kind of needed the Panzer T-25 to be a little bit more proactive, I suppose. But, yeah, as Loki says, less like a pansy. But with hindsight, maybe I was a little harsh and a little frustrated at the time. I don't know. But anyway, let's just look at the post-game stats for this one, and then I can go and cry myself in a corner. So, there we go. That's the worst result. I despise draws so much. Anyway. We actually picked up an ace tank for that, which I wasn't expecting at the time. I guess the close range shooty and some spotting in a tank destroyer was enough to tip that over. The Dubry was enough to get us an ace tanker, is what I'm trying to say. Fire for effect, bruiser, and a patrol duty medal in a tank destroyer. Anyway, I hate draws so much. Tried to make something happen there, but at the end it just wasn't working. And even if I had, like, the thing is, if we just sat there and waited for the enemy to make a mistake, their artillery's the other end of the map. We needed to kill those guys, kill them quickly, and then go and deal with the artillery. Otherwise, the best we were looking at was a draw, which is essentially a defeat in all practical terms. Can't stand them. So you can see there I was a little bit frustrated and kind of, at the time I took this screenshot, I've got, like, the team positions and everything, but I've got the T-25 open, just having a look at how well he did, and we'll come to that in a second. 2,450 damage done, 3 kills, 742 base experience, remembering that that was a defeat, but we got heroic resistance for picking up the patrol duty medal, so that's actually going to end up being more base XP, well, quote-unquote base XP, which is what gave us the ace. Now, the Panzer T-25. I've played the Panzer T-25 as a tank quite a lot. The gun is not bad, but it is not a sniper rifle. You do not want to be using that gun at range, because it is not very good at range. You kind of want to use it pretty up close and personal, and you can take the Panzer T-25 up close and personal, because while it doesn't have much in the way of armour, has a little bit, but not a huge amount, it does have quite a veritable slug of hit points for a Tier 5 medium tank. The guy fired 39 shots. 23 hit, 16 penetrated. Now that's not awful, but it does make me wonder if he was sniping a little bit. Only 500 of that damage was from more than 300 meters, so to be fair to him, 2/3 of his damage was from closer range. Like, I'm probably being too harsh on the Panzer T-25. But he spent far too long sitting literally in the corner of the map at K0. Maybe I'm not being too harsh. I don't know. I don't want to single this guy out. I'm not trying to rail on a player too much. It's just, it was frustrating. Like I said, I'm more showing this game just to demonstrate that everybody gets frustrated, rather than to rail on a particular player. 24 shots fired, 13 hits, 12 pens. Out of curiosity, did we hit the Chinu in the end? We did hit him once. Okay, so I think one of those blind shots connected. 2,500 damage, 451 from more than 300 meters, the other 2,000 from up close and personal. 10 hits received, 3 penetrated, 5 did not. So the armor on the flat Panzer, as I've mentioned a few times, whilst it's not something you want to be relying on, especially when top tier, you can get a few bounces here or there. 455 damage blocked by our armour, 4 enemy vehicles spotted, 7 damage, 3 destroyed, 1145 assistance, 42 base defense points, 3.76 kilometers travelled. We had a premium account at the time for something. It was either from a mission, or I might have just bought a premium tank thing that came in a little bundle or something. I can't remember, but we had a premium account at the time, and so we made a respectable profit even on the defeat. But it was just frustrating, and you can see that if you take our base XP of 742, throw in the extra 414 from Courageous Resistance, and suddenly, maths time, we're up to 1,156. Which apparently, in fact I didn't need to do maths, it's written right there. He's clever, I is. Apparently 1156 base XP is enough for an ace in the Flat Panzer. I mean, it used to require, less than 1,000 base XP used to be enough, but the requirements for the Jagdpanzer IV are really quite low. Make of that what you will. Anyway, there's the game. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and put up with my rantings and ravings and general frustrations. If you did, by all means feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to the channel and blah de blah de blah de blah. Links in the video description to Discord and to Patreon if you're interested. And as ever, I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao ciao!